Welcome to Pressure to Profit, Part 3. We're going to talk about execution. Execution is not about getting it perfect the first time. It's about defining what good looks like and staying in control while you learn. Most owners don't struggle because they lack ideas. They struggle because once execution starts, they're not sure where to push, when to pause, or when to step in. And that's what we're going to talk about here. Why does execution fail? Most plans fail because of one of three traps. The first one is rigid execution. We stick to the plan no matter what, we ignore the warning signs, and we replace judgment with compliance. The plan becomes a script instead of a guide. Trap number two is reactive execution. So what happens here is the first time reality differs from the plan, a problem shows up, panic kicks in, structure gets abandoned, everything snaps back to old habits. Rigid execution breaks teams. Reactive execution destroys momentum. So trap number three, and to be honest, this is the one I've fallen on the hardest because I'm a certified project management professional. I know how schedules are supposed to run and I can prove it on paper. And that's exactly why this trap is so dangerous. This one looks organized, it feels responsible. Hey, I'm following the plan, and it quietly breaks execution. Rigid project schedules. Monday we do this. Wednesday we're going to roll this out. By Friday we should be done. On paper that looks clean. The problem is in real business, it ignores reality. Jobs don't move on clean timelines. Customers don't cooperate with schedules. Field work doesn't slow down because the chart says it should. So owners start forcing progress to match the plan. And that's when teams get overloaded. Corners get cut, profit starts leaking. This is just rigid execution with better formatting. So the real problem nobody talks about, and here's the part that most execution advice skips. Small businesses are always busy. Sometimes that busyness is real. Jobs are stacked up, customers are waiting, teams are stretched thin. It happens. And sometimes we're busy becomes a convenient reason to never change anything. The problem is those two look identical on the surface. If you treat all busyness as an excuse, you burn your team out. If you treat all busyness as a hard stop, nothing ever improves. So that's why execution can't be driven by pressure or dates. It has to be driven by capacity and feedback. So what execution actually is the plan is not a script. The plan provides guardrails. And inside those guardrails, teams are trusted to make decisions. Feedback is encouraged. Adjustment is expected. Execution is not about forcing progress. It's about protecting the business while progress happens. So instead of asking, are we behind schedule? You ask, can the business safely absorb this right now? Sometimes that means you have to push now because what you know is coming, and others you pause. Make a decision. Whether it's right or wrong this time, you need to look at this as a way to learn what to do next time. Wisdom is learning from experience. Where execution decisions come from. Execution decisions don't come from one voice. Owners see pressure, office teams see schedules, field teams see capacity. Those are not always the same thing. If the execution decisions only come from the owner, pressure always wins. If they only come from the office, the field breaks. If they only come from the field, nothing will ever change. So good execution separates those inputs before the decisions are made. not debated in the same room, not argued in real time. So they're captured independently, so warning signs show up early. Execution works best when the business tells you what you can safely absorb before you push forward. So here's a quick example of what I mean by guardrails. Years ago, we had developed a brand new product. Months of in-house development, testing, training, preparation, everything. The first time it was ever installed in the field, I should have been the one on site. I was a lead engineer, but the timing didn't allow it, so I had to send my team. They were experienced, they were trained, they understood the guardrails. And no, it did not go perfectly. There were side issues they couldn't control. There were problems they couldn't solve on their own. But here's the part that mattered. They solved 80 or 90% of the problems without calling me. I didn't get panic calls. I got updates. And when they hit a hard wall, they called and said, "This is bigger than us. We need help." And that's exactly what I wanted. The project itself didn't go perfectly. Some of that was completely outside of their control. But in the end, the team walked away with confidence because they were trusted to operate inside the guardrails. And from that point on, execution got easier because they knew what they could own and when to escalate. Execution is not about getting it perfect, it's reacting to reality. So, a couple of things if you're starting out with this. Start small on purpose. Begin with the first set of changes, not everything at once, not perfectly sequenced, just intentionally. Start with what the business has the capacity to absorb. Learn quickly, adjust early. Early adjustments are smaller and cheaper. Measure what matters. Execution only works when success is defined. You need to know in advance what good looks like. What does acceptable look like? What's not working look like? If those things aren't defined, everything feels broken. And once everything feels broken, owners jump back in the middle and teams stop making decisions. Adjustment is expected and encouraged. Let's play that again. Adjustment is expected and encouraged. Adjustment is not failure, it's assumed and it's encouraged. Early on, feedback loops are tight. Adjustments happen often. That's not chaos, that's learning. Over time, teams adjust automatically. Owners step out of the middle, execution stabilizes. Adjustment protects capacity and it doesn't slow progress. Progress is permission based. Most execution systems assume progress happens because the calendar says so. That's how rigid schedules take over. In a real business, progress happens when the business can safely absorb it. Progress is permission based, not date based. When the capacity is tight, holding steady is not a failure, it's protection. But you need to watch so when capacity opens up, progress moves forward on purpose. You can't continue to use busyness as an excuse. Execution isn't just pushing harder, it's about knowing what can move forward right now without breaking the business. So let's reframe execution. Execution is not a straight line. Execution is act, observe, adjust, continue, repeat. That's not chaos, that's controlled progress. So the real win isn't just finishing a plan, it's building a team that can run a plan, adjust calmly, and approve with each pass. The first pass is the hardest. The second one runs a little smoother. The third one is faster. And you're thinking, I get the idea, but I'm not confident doing this alone. That's normal. Absolutely the time to go get some help. And if you want some help working through the evaluation, planning, and execution so you're not carrying this by yourself, let's talk. No pressure, just a conversation.